And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Martin Cooper. Martin is an engineer, inventor, entrepreneur, and futurist. Not only did he lead the creation of the world's first cell phone while he was at Motorola, he made the historic first public call on it. Can you imagine your life without your smartphone? I certainly can't. So please join me in welcoming the inventor, Martin Cooper.
Hi, I'm Marty Cooper. People call me the father of the cell phone. It's because some 40 years ago, I had an idea. I looked at how people were communicating and I decided that the phone company, you remember the phone company, the Bell system, had us trapped in our homes. They had us tied to our office phones with that copper wire that really restricted us, that people really are fundamentally, naturally mobile. They want to be free to go anywhere and communicate all the time. And I decided we had to solve that problem. I put together a team at Motorola, and over a period of some 3 months, they created the world's first handheld cell phone. We demonstrated that cell phone on the streets of New York. Here's a picture of me without a beard when I don't remember how old I was. 10 years later, the cell phone became commercial, a version of that phone that I demonstrated in New York. The cell phone, at the beginning, it took off very slowly. People didn't believe that it would work. They actually didn't believe that we'd ever achieve the system that it would take to provide that. Well, where are we today? There are more cell phones in the world today than there are people. Would you believe that? There are more cell phones than there are toilets and practically everything else you could imagine. But we don't really, in this country, use the cell phone the way they do in other countries where the cell phone is the basis of people's lives. In Africa, over 1 billion people have moved out of poverty because of the things that happen with a cell phone, the ability to move money, the increase of productivity, the way healthcare is being managed in third world countries is astounding. And because now, because of the network, the cell phone network, a doctor in Mexico City, as an example, can treat somebody in a small village, can do things like an ultrasound picture of a baby that hasn't been born yet, do an eye examination, all of that with very little cost and very high effectiveness. So it is my view that the cell phone is the beginning of a revolution in healthcare, in education, that we are going to have a totally different way of educating people, and in the whole concept of how we collaborate, how we deal with each other. I am a technologist because that's what I've been doing my whole life. I started to get interested in engineering and how things work when I was 5 years old. But the one thing that I have to caution people about is I define technology as the application of science to make products and services that make people's lives better. Without the people part, technology is nothing. So my favorite thing is looking at what engineers are doing and picking out those things that are really useful to people and those things that the engineers are doing for their own curiosity and because they're having fun. That's not the purpose of technology. If it doesn't make our life better, more interesting, more productive, it's not technology. But that's not the subject today. We're talking now about what happens when people get older. There is a tradition that somehow at some age, somebody retires. That doesn't make any sense at all. If you examine what happens to the human body, the fact is we do slow down when we get older, but the neurons in our head don't get weakened at all. So having people retire at early ages, at the age of 50, 60, even 70 years old doesn't make any sense anymore. I'm 92 years old. I still work hard. I still think. And the biggest thing in my life is learning new things and putting those things to use. And that is the whole purpose of Oasis. Here is a way of keeping people's minds engaged, allowing them to continue to contribute when they are still at ages where they can be productive, that the world doesn't really appreciate how much people like that can do. So I congratulate the people that are producing Oasis, and I wish all of you an extraordinary experience and the creation of this new wonderful opportunity. Thank you.